The mission behind our disability ministry at Calvary Chapel, Chester Springs, is to glorify God by welcoming and including all people. The Bible teaches that we are all essential and we are all fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of Christ. People with disabilities are not problems or mistakes, but they are invaluable members of the body of Christ, and each one has an important role and an important purpose.
People said, "Oh, he'll never understand God." But he does understand God. He understands God sometimes more than I do. The first 2 years of Micah's diagnosis, we were at another church. And it was a small church, and we couldn't go to church together. My husband and I couldn't worship together because someone always had to stay home with Micah. And a friend came up and said, "Hey, our church has a special needs ministry, and you can all come to church together and worship, and then Micah will be in a group where he'll be with other kids, and they're all worshiping together." And we thought that that was just so wonderful, and it has been.
It is important to have a disability ministry because we have to be intentional about making families with disabilities feel loved, welcomed, and connected to the body of Christ.
So having a kid like Abel is very isolating, in part because he's very needy, and so trusting him with anybody else is extremely challenging. It's also isolating because he is so different and scary for a lot of people to be around. I think it's just natural that we get isolated. And 1 Peter chapter 5 tells us that the devil is a lion. He's walking around seeking whom he may devour. And when you see herds in Africa or wherever running from a lion, it's the one who's straggling behind, the one who's isolated that gets eaten. And so that imagery is very powerful for us because the church can be that herd for us that comes around us so that we're not isolated, we're not left alone, that they support us even if they don't know what to do. Sometimes it's just being there.
80% of families who have an individual with a disability do not attend church, so this is a huge unreached people group. There are 3 ways to get involved in our ministry. The first way is to come to training sessions or reach out to me to talk about how we might use your gifts in the ministry. So the second way to get involved is to come out and help out with some of our fellowship events. We love to give families the opportunity to fellowship, to create a support group environment, to receive spiritual encouragement, and sometimes to get respite. So we love to try to do these events on a quarterly basis, and they're a lot of fun, but they take a lot of hands. The third way you can get involved is to sign up to be a one-on-one aide or a buddy for a child or young adult with disabilities.
Working in this ministry is amazing. I would really encourage it. I've been doing it since I was 11, so it's not hard. It's just forming a friendship with someone and being there for them. And it's something to look forward to every Sunday. It's a really great time.